Guys, what's up? It is Doug, and welcome to the 2024 season of Spooky Villages. Yes, I can't believe it's here. I'm very excited to get going this year. If you've watched before, thank you for coming back. If you're a new viewer here, what I do is I get the buildings from Lemax Spooky Town, and Department 56. Typically, it's those two. Sometimes I talk about other brands or, other different kinds of videos. I'll do a little bit of that. But for the most part, it's those two brands, those two types of Halloween buildings. And I like to showcase them under real-world lighting conditions that you don't always get either in the store or, like promo shots. So here I am. I'm ready to kick this season off with a bang. Two last notes of housekeeping before we get started here with the 2024 season. First off, a massive thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Huge thanks. Actually, this building, I'm going to be giving it away to one of my Patreon subscribers here in the next week or so. So again, thank you all for the support. And second off here, if you are curious about my village scene setter village background, which you're going to actually see the ghostly carnival I'm going to display here in this video. If you're curious about those or want some more details, I'm going to put that in the comments below here. I don't want to talk about them in the video because that information tends to change where these videos are sort of evergreen. Check out the Phantom Castle, guys. Here we go. This is the, I guess long awaited, we can call this the Lemax Spooky Town roller coaster. We're going to talk a little bit about that here. What a roller coaster means actually with Lemax Spooky Town. This piece is going to be very interesting to discuss, and frankly, out of all the buildings this year, I think this is the most interesting to discuss. So check out this box. This is gigantic. This is about as big as Spooky Town pieces go, one of the biggest at least. They've done some other really big ones, recently. Skull Cave Quarry comes to mind, the Count's Bat Bonanza, even the Tower from last year, some big ones, but this is a very big one here, a very big ride. So let's get into the box. Here is the Phantom Castle, guys. Check this out. It is a big boy. Do it once around here. I'll show you what it looks like lit up here in just a moment if you're new to the channel here. And then if they do have sound on the end of it, which this one does have a soundtrack, I'll play it with the lights and sound at the end of the video. So check this out, guys. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to show it lit up proper here to do the actual discussion. But before that, let me just point out a couple things here. Of course, you have the three different pieces of animation you got here, these two tracks with the cars, and then you have the hill here, which, let me show you here how that's like a rubber, hopefully you can see that right. It's like a rubber track. We're going to talk about that more in just a moment here. But some of the details around that kind of get lost when it's dark. You have right here, somebody running out of the exit here. They look scared. All sorts of little graves around it. This is a very heavy construction too. This is like the actual old style ceramic type of material that everybody loves from Lemax Spooky Town's past. You can check out around here. Great details all the way around this. The big thing here, of course, is you have the, the Phantom, or kind of a Grim Reaper-like character here. He looks awesome. I mean, this is extremely heavy metal, it looks like. I love this. He's very firm. Pretty good paint job on him. Then you have over here the tower. So it's very castle-ish. And how it's designed, which makes sense, of course, Phantom Castle in there, but you guys know what I mean. Really cool for the ride this year. This one is excellent. It really goes along theming-wise with some of the other rides they've done in recent years. Last thing here to show, power goes back here. And apologies for the hair if you see any hair on this. I have a husky who is blowing his coat right now, so there's like hair on everything around here. Try my best to keep it off. But power supply is included in this one, comes in the back. You can turn this one on or off. And I realize a lot of people ask this in the comments, and I kind of ignore this and just assume people know, so my apologies. But you can run this without the soundtrack on it. You can do that with almost all Lemax buildings. There are very few you can't do that one. You click it on here and you turn the volume up or down. So just FYI, if you're a newbie to the hobby, which this building will probably bring in a lot of newbies this year, you can run it without the sound just fine. Here it is lit up, guys, and wow, this is a showpiece. This is one of the types of buildings that I classify as a showpiece, and what that means is it would make a good centerpiece of a collection or a centerpiece of a display, especially for, if you're a newbie that's coming in. This one here it screams for attention. So let's talk about what this is right now, actually. So pretty much every year, Lemax releases a big carnival/amusement park ride. They've been doing it forever, and for the longest time, a roller coaster has been the main request, because pretty much Lemax has well, maybe not every type of like flat ride covered, but they have a lot of different types of rides covered, but really not a roller coaster. So the only way that you could get a roller coaster is to use something else like CDX blocks kits, other things like that. This is Lemax's attempt at a roller coaster. Now, what kind of roller coaster? This is more of a hybrid roller coaster slash dark ride, and that you find at a theme park. And what I mean by that, if I can put my coaster nerd hat on here a minute, because I love roller coasters. One of my favorite things is actually traveling around to different parks and you know, checking out roller coasters. This is like kind of a hybrid dark ride slash roller coaster. What comes to mind is like the Mystery Mine at Dollywood, or something like Thunder Mountain that Disney has. What I mean by that, it is a thrill ride, but it's more of a hybrid, you know, effects, and like, again, it's a dark ride. It's not just like a straight up, you know, big roller coaster with the massive lift hills, you know, that go around like a park, like a gigantic size. And I really think realistically, this is probably the only type of you know, coaster type, you know, that Lemax could do really, unless it would just be an insanely large one. Because that's the thing with a big, you know, roller coaster, to have it scaled anywhere near properly, it would have to just be this gigantic piece with a huge footprint, and I just don't see them doing that. But in also talking about this piece, let's talk about the animation, because Lemax is really trying to pull these sleight of hand tricks. They're trying to do everything they can to give us their type of roller coaster, right, that can work, because having cars that go around a track, I also don't think is feasible, like a traditional, you know, like an actual gravity style coaster where these cars would actually have a lift hill and they go along, you know, a set path. So what they're doing here, they have the two pieces of animation where these cars are just going around in a circle, and you also have the drop, basically, which is a rubber conveyor belt that the cars are on here, and they rotate around. And by having all the cars look similar to each other here, it gives the idea that instead of like several parts of a ride or several parts of a thing going on, it's all part of one ride, and you're just watching, it from afar, right? And it's pretty ingenious what Lemax has done here, because again, I just don't think it's feasible in any way for them to do an actual full track gravity style roller coaster. So Lemax is trying their hardest here, and I applaud them for what they're doing with that, because it's not a real roller coaster per se, but it's a lot of effects to achieve a roller coaster look, if that makes sense to you all. And I think in your theme park, you know, if you don't do something like use, you know, an external type of scale roller coaster, again, I use CDX blocks for an example because they have a few of them available. If you don't do something like that, this is just sorely needed. So you have that in an extremely well-themed package, and you know, I applaud Lemax for doing this. So many people have wanted this, and again, I think realistically, this is probably the best shot we have at this. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this in the future with a different type of theme, because again, you can do this kind of thing with different vibes. I love the castle and the you know, the Phantom Castle vibe here with the big like Reaper slash Phantom on the back. It's themed so well. It looks awesome how there are like rocks carved around it. This just looks like a very, very well themed ride, and I think this will be a centerpiece for a lot of folks and their display, especially if you do the amusement park. You know, Lemax has really, really needed to do this to bolster that amusement park lineup. I'm glad they did this versus just, you know, another Ferris wheel or something like that, which is great. I love the Ferris wheels, but we needed some type of a coaster, so you know, that's awesome that they've done this. We've not really talked about the actual lights and sound here and talking about the type of ride. There's a lot going on here as far as the lighting goes. This will light up a display. I also love how they have the flames, kind of the you know, the flickering flames, that vibe on the top of the castle. Really nice use of color here. There's just, again, a lot going on, and this is a fun piece when you turn on. You know, if you have guests over, you can just turn this on and boom, they're like, wow, what is that? It lights up like a beacon. One thing to note here, you know, mechanically, there are 4 pieces of animation on this one. You have the 2 tracks that are basically the same as the cars go around. You have the bats on the top. You install that piece there and they rotate. But for the 4th one here, the big one is that drop hill. And what that is, it's a conveyor belt that has the cars or the trains, whatever you want to call them, attached to rubber, and you can see them bounce as they go down. So if you're going to run yours a lot, I just don't know how well it'll hold up. I haven't seen that used like with the cars on it to where they bounce that much. They've used that mechanism on some different things before, but the cars are sort of you know, big pieces that they have on top of it there. But it looks like they're sort of on a little track, or they've got something to sort of support the weight when it goes down. It's an interesting setup how they've done this. So in summer here, you know, the Phantom Castle, this is an awesome piece. This is going to be at Michael's this year. I saw somebody in one of the groups had posted some prices from this year, and it is going to be at Michael's, it looks like. So I'd imagine when this thing's running, it's going to draw a lot of attention at the Michael's stores, and because of that, you're going to probably see a lot of them go quickly. If I was you, I would buy one early whenever Michael's does put them out, if that's the way you decide to go. This is not an exclusive piece, I should say. Dealers do have access to this piece. If you get one at Michael's, I would get one early, just because you know, if there is anything mechanically wrong or anything, Michael's would have some that you can sub out, where that's not always the case, you know, if you buy late in the season, because sometimes they don't have the inventory to swap out, so you just won't be able to get one, or you have to deal with some other type of exchange. So that's the Phantom Castle, guys. A great way to start off the season here with a big flagship piece like this, and it's awesome Lemax has done one of these. This is totally, you know, they've been listening to people. They keep trying to listen to people, you can tell, every year, and so many people requested a roller coaster, and this is Lemax's, you know, I think a smart attempt at doing one that's feasible within their lineup here. They've pulled out a lot of tricks to kind of have the effect of a roller coaster here, and I think they've done a really nice job. And of course, they've themed it, I mean, really, really well. This is an immaculately themed building. All right, guys, and we're off. Well, for the lights and sound here, I just want to say thank you all, as always, for all the support, you know, over the years. It's fun to be doing this again here. Thank you, as always, my Patreon supporters. Again, big thank you. One of you is going to actually get this building here very shortly. I'm going to do a giveaway there for my Patreon subscribers. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I just really appreciate you guys always watching here, and it's fun to be back. And if you are new here, I try and give a hint to the next building that I'm going to talk about on this channel. And FYI, I'm going to try and go weekly this year. I don't know if it's always going to be weekly. Maybe there's some weeks I'm going to have maybe a couple videos, maybe some I might not have one. I'm just going to kind of free flow it this year. So for a tease for next time, we're going to be working through a maze down on the farm. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here it is with the lights and sound.